running, interfering. I was trying to hold him back. And while I was holding one team back, another team would come in and start interfering. So I would go over and deal with him. And then another guy would come in, jump over my back, and start interfering. And I just got so lost and so confused, I instinctively just rang for the bell and called it a disqualification. Impromptu, on-the-spot disqualification. I remember when I did that, I instantly froze, what did I do? The wrestlers froze, what did I do? The crowd froze, just silence in the entire arena. What did I do? And I just kind of got back into rep form, nothing happened. The wrestlers calmed down, nothing happened, and there were a few angry people at me that night. And I did not rep another tag match for about 2 years.
Oh, man.
Because I love doing tag matches now. They're my favorite thing to do. It's the best way to use a referee. A referee is a Swiss Army blade. You can use it in so many different ways, and a good referee can be utilized in so many different ways that a tag match really brings out the best in that. So it's actually my favorite thing to do now.
Well, I was going to say, isn't it also kind of some of the wrestlers, they got to try to, let you know kind of, what's going on throughout the matches or something like that? Like they do that little, I guess, secret where they, either they talk to you, when you come up to them, they're injured, they'd say okay, hey, here's what we're going to do, something like that. Or is it kind of more, from your experience, they just kind of improvise, as you mentioned?
It all depends on who you work with, really. Some people can improvise the whole match, some people plan everything out. It's gotten to the points where I've become so comfortable in it, though. I just go with it. I usually improvise the most, I would say. Jordy kind of got this going as a real life meme of me, just who and how. I'll be in the back, and I will just walk up to whoever's working the match and say who and how, and they'll say who, and whether it's a pin or a submission. That's all I need to know. Everything else I can just take care of.
Makes most sense. Have you had any crazy deals where you've taken a nasty bump where it's just okay, I can't do this or something like that? I know with Nathan Gus, we actually talked about how vicious sadist spears can be. I mean, for God's sakes, at WrestleCon, he, not intentionally, but he knocked out Kevin Thorne, and that scared the crap out of me. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Luckily, I have not been on the receiving end of a spear from sadist. That's a lucky thing. Not so lucky. I can tell you, like I said, I haven't taken a spear from sadist, but right on up there, a lariat from Nick Colucci. My goodness, he lets you know he's there. Nick Colucci, anytime he gives those spinning lariats or just comes at you with the lariat, you're going to feel it. It's funny because, there was this one time I was laying on the outside because I was in pain, and somebody walked up to me and said, hey, good job, you're doing a good job selling. I was like, I'm not selling. There's a lot of hurt going on right now. There's pain in my chest area. Yeah, Nick Colucci, anytime he gives you a lariat, you definitely feel it.
Well, I can also relate because I felt one of his chops, so it's one of those things where it's and yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you were recording, so again, thank you for that, and also thank you for enjoying my pain. So,
yeah, hey, anytime, man.
But I'm trying to think here. So, as far as some of the people, maybe this is kind of an interesting question. Are there any people that you look up to as far as, wrestling wise, but also as far as, I guess as a role model for, what a referee is supposed to be like? I know it's kind of one of those weird questions where it's how many people ask, is there a referee that kind of stands out the most when it comes to, a wrestling referee? But I think I'm kind of interested in knowing, do you have a referee that kind of stands out to you where it's just I kind of want to be like that guy?
To be honest, not that much. I guess you could say Earl Hebner, just for the longevity he's had in the business, as well as many of the other WWE referees that you can think of, just because, you get a ref in the WWE, they usually stay there for quite a while. Earl Hebner, his whole career, for example, granted he went to TNA and stuff, but he's still involved in wrestling. So I guess as far as longevity goes, I look up to some refs. But as far as, everything else goes, I guess you could say the only name, quote-unquote, that I've been a huge fan of was Vickie Guerrero, just because how she can work the microphone. And one day I eventually, I wouldn't mind trying the managing card, but that's a long way away. And then if I can, I'll say some people that's really influenced me as to how I ref now Some people right there. Actually, first name I got to think of is Nathan Gust. I remember I used to be very strict, very uptight, very, by the books. And so Nathan pretty much taught me, I can have fun with it. I can enjoy it. It used to be to where I would go out to the ring, and let's say somebody yells my name or wants a high five, I don't do anything. You know why? Because I'm the ref. I'm just there to count, right? Nathan pretty much showed me, I could just have fun with it, relax, I mean, it's a show, brother. Have fun. And then Weasel, and he actually taught me a lot. I know that's a name that a lot of people are going to, I don't know, mixed reaction with that guy. But he's an early NWA Wisconsin guy, and he actually taught me a lot of what to look for, and I picked up a lot of mannerisms through him, that he coached me through. But somebody I would have to thank, for even letting me ref to begin with, Dylan. He was the first guy to let me ref. He was the first guy who took a chance on me, and he saw that I didn't suck, which is good, I guess. And, I wouldn't be doing this right now. I wouldn't be at the spot I am right now if it wasn't for Dylan.
I think that he definitely sees a lot of potential in you, and a lot of other people definitely do. You mentioned, Vickie Guerrero, and, everybody got the chance to meet her at WrestleCon. So did you ever get a chance to talk to her, one-on-one, either backstage or just,
I have a story.
By all means.
Vickie Guerrero. So when she first showed up, I was like, hey, I know this is kind of a professional, but I just wanted to shake your hand and let you know I'm a huge fan of yours. Ever since I was a kid, I just love to hate you. You're really good at that, so I'm a huge fan of yours, and it's really cool to actually meet you. She was like, oh, thank you very, she's very, very nice. Vickie, very nice lady. And then so later in the night, finally I'm in between my matches, and Vickie's about to leave, and I'm like, I gotta take this opportunity. So I walk up to her real fast. I'm like, hey, Vickie, I was just wondering, can I get a selfie with you or something real fast? She was like, yeah, sure. I kind of got to leave soon, so you can make it a little bit quick. Yeah, sure, no problem. So I'm right next to Vickie Guerrero, shoulder to shoulder. And I'm like, cool, awesome. I get my phone. And I almost want to say it's a joke, but I don't think that's going to be believable. On the background of my phone is an anime girl, big-breasted anime girl in a small bikini. So, first impression Vickie Guerrero has of me, while she's looking at my phone too, sweet, I have hentai on my phone. That's cool. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, and I try to turn the phone away from her real fast, and I get the camera open and take a really awkward selfie that I'm never going to post on social media. And that's me meeting one of my childhood idols. She saw me with a almost naked anime girl on my phone. That was cool.
Jesus. Oh, man. Honestly, I think that there's not going to be any story that's going to trump that. Although there is one story that I have to definitely talk about. You definitely mentioned a lot about, that you're definitely a gamer and you're definitely one of those guys who definitely, loves games. I kind of noticed this, and, I hope you don't mind if I bring this up. One picture that I did see on your Facebook looks like you dressed up as Link from the Legend of Zelda. Kind of talk about that. I'm actually kind of interested in hearing the story behind that.
Sure. Me and my wife, she's a huge video gamer as well. We actually had a wedding, a cosplay wedding, where the invite even basically said, "Hey, dress up as your favorite video game character." That's the wedding dress code. So I dressed up as Link. She dressed up as Zelda. We had a lot of friends show up. Some of the wrestlers that I can think showed up for sure. Off the top of my head, Ruthie, him and his beautiful wife Deneen showed up as Ruthie showed up as a lumberjack, which was his gimmick at the time. And Deneen showed up as a Ninja Turtle. I had the Dick Devin Drake show up as Mr. Rogers. Because, when you think Devin Drake, you just think Mr. Rogers, right? I had Kippy show up as none other than Kippy. I had Tyler Jackson show up as Bray Wyatt, a very good Bray Wyatt, I might add. And then I had his girlfriend, Danny, show up as an elf. I'm just going to say from Elf Bowling, because I can't really think of any other video games that have an elf in it. And I'm sure I'm missing somebody, which I feel terrible about. But, yeah. And then also I do like to do the local cons and nerd stuff, so I go to Link, dress as Link as that now, too.
Man. Well, now I have to thank you now, because for the longest time, for Devin, I always, said like Mighty Mouse and stuff like that. Now I'm just going to have to start, saying, hey, it's Mr. Rogers, and just see what kind of...
I'm going to receive crap for that.
But at the same time, it's just funny, and plus,
yeah.
I'm kind of one of those guys that I think is on his list anyway, because I told the story with Nathan Gust, and I love telling the story because it's just awesome. after he had his Battle Royal and we had that intermission going on, I talked to some of the guys, Logan Lynch at TW3, and I remember talking to Devin. I said, "Hey, good match," and I did the whole going for the handshake and then just did the whole hair slick back deal, and he just. Of course, being Devin, from what I've been told, he just tells me, he was like, get out of here, go do some squats. I'm just like, oh, man, I love this guy.
I can tell you a story about how Devin the Dick Drake himself got kicked out of a biker bar.
Now I'm interested in this. Okay, please, by all means, the floor is yours.
All right, so we were up at some place up north, Wasaki, I think. I'm pretty sure it was Wasaki because we camped out the night before. And also what happened the night before is this is when it was ran by a gentleman named Bruno. WPW was under the control of a gentleman named Bruno, who thought it was a good idea for basically a biker bar to have karaoke. So we go there, we set up karaoke, because karaoke was a normal thing back at that time. Everybody did karaoke. We had a lot of fun doing karaoke. And he sets up the karaoke stuff. There's probably about 30 people in the bar. All leather jackets, long facial hair. Probably in their late 90s, 50s and late 90s, and we do one, maybe two songs, and then Devin decides it's a good idea to sing Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood at karaoke at a biker bar. So all of a sudden, he does Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Bruno's setting up the next song when two of the bikers walks up and says, "Yeah, you guys are going to have to leave now." Oh, yeah, no, we're not having this gay shit here. You're going to have to leave now. And because of Devin, he got kicked out of a biker bar because he sang Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood on karaoke.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man. See, now you're just giving me more ammunition where it's just going to evolve into something where now he's just going to start being called Mr. Rogers, and I'll just start leading a chant of, Mr. Rogers, and then just start, just the Mr. Rogers theme song, and just seeing his reaction. And honestly, I'm probably going to get built up to the point where he's just going to literally break character and just give me just the biggest bird that he can possibly give me. I'll just be like, "You're welcome." Big thumbs up, cheesy grin. Next
time we'll be killed by him before I can see him.
Well, I don't know. You think he ever listens to these kind of podcasts? We'll see. So I guess one of the big questions that I had to ask is during the WrestleCon show, you're going to have to familiarize me with this. The whole deal where people were just saying "Oh, get him a sandwich, get him a sandwich." What was the story behind the sandwich deal? This was one of the main things where it's you have to ask about the sandwich story. You have to ask about this. It's okay.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was going to come. All right. Well, I think it all started. We were doing a show out on Two Rivers. And nearby, I don't remember what the sandwich shop is, but there's a sub sandwich pizza shop nearby. And me, Ruthie, Mr. Chris Gambino, the Dream Police. I'm just going to say the Dream Police. Smash, I think, was there. Nathan Gus, Devin, Kippy. We all decided to go to this. Brock Hall, he was there. We all decided to go to this sandwich place. And I was really hungry. I had not eaten anything all day. And everybody orders a sub. I cannot decide between the taco or the tuna sub. So I did what anybody else did. I got on both, right? So I was kind of getting made fun of as why did I order two sandwiches? Why did I order two sandwiches? So I sit down and I'm eating my sandwich and I'm done. Everybody else is done. And I still have my second sandwich to go. And everybody just leaves me. And seeing that, there was a very nice, I must say, very nice black family in the corner. And they were like, "Did they just leave you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess they didn't want to, help me finish my other sandwich." They say, "You know what? You can come sit by us." And so I got adopted by a black family that night. That was cool. Me and Tommy are brothers, I'm sure. Me, Tommy, Kaz, we're all brothers now. So then that story got around, and I am now known for eating two sandwiches all the time, which I actually do still actively do because I'm that hungry. AJ and Alicia found out, and they were at Stadium Mania. And I think they brought sandwiches, but they just brought too many for themselves. And so they said, "Hey, do you want one?" "Sure, awesome, cool. All right, well, we'll get it to you soon." Show starts, and never got my sandwich. I'm out there doing my match, go back, do my other match, go back, do my other match. And on my way back from the third match, pretty sure it was Alicia who handed me a sandwich. And I gave her a thumbs up. "Awesome, this is sweet." after finishing the match, out there ringside and everything. And I walked to the back while eating a sandwich during a show. And so ever since then, now Alicia is wonderful.